All right, so again, I would take some notes if I were in your shoes here. When it comes to finals week, we do not have a final exam in here. It just wouldn't even make sense. I don't know. Have you answer a bunch of multiple choice questions about line variation? I don't know. But instead, what I do for finals week in most of the studio courses is I have you guys turn in your portfolio and your sketchbook for final grades. So I'll explain the expectations when it comes to the portfolio in a moment. But just know that in your case, on Monday, November 29th, that doesn't seem right. Is that right? Yep, okay. Monday, November 29th, your portfolio and sketchbook are due in this room at 3:30 p.m. I will give you a 20-minute block of time. You can have 10 minutes before that and 10 minutes after. So I will be in here waiting, starting at 3:20. Then at 3:40, I close that door, I lock it. I even put a piece of fabric over that window so that I will not be disturbed. So that if you come knocking after 3:40, I'm going to be like Christ and say, I never knew you, because I got stuff I got to do. All right? So you got that 20-minute window, get your work here. When you walk in, there'll be signs that tell you where to put your sketchbook, where to put your portfolio. You'll put them in those places. If I've got any additional work, because I think there might be one more assignment that I might still have at that point. If I do, I'll hand it to you. You can get that into your portfolio. Then you go away. In the intervening time, it says here pickup is at 6. And in the intervening time, I'll be grading portfolios and sketchbooks and entering those grades. I also use that time for taking photographs of any work that I want to use as examples for later semesters. Then, like I said, it says 6 p.m., but what will happen is that if I finish up with grading all these before 6, I'll send out a notification to all of you so that you know. And it'll be perfectly fine for you to come back and get them at that time. I'll give you the same 20-minute window. However, if I do start at 6, so you'll have from 6 to 6:20. At which point I got to start getting ready for my next class, who will start bringing their work in starting at 6:20. If when you are dropping off your portfolio and sketchbook at 3:30 or thereabouts, and you already know at that time that you're not going to be able to come back to get your portfolio and sketchbook, tell me then. Or if you leave and then realize because something comes up while you're gone that you're not going to be able to come back and get it in time, send me a message so that I know. Because there's nothing quite like sitting here and at 6 o'clock, everybody has come in and gotten their stuff, and there's like 2 portfolios still sitting here, and I'm sitting around till 6:20 wondering why those people haven't shown up. If they had just let me know, then I could have gotten out of here when everybody else had picked up their stuff. If you're not able to pick up your stuff by that time, I will be putting your portfolio and sketchbook around on the other side of this white partition here in what we call the sculpture area. I'll put them over there, and you can arrange to come by the art room at some point and get it on your own time. All right? Now, like I said, I'm going to talk about the portfolio expectations in a moment. Are there any questions on the procedure? Okay, cool. All right, so what should your portfolio look like? Well, it should be, first off, self-contained. So if you yourself don't have a portfolio yet, you need to get one or make one. You can make one with a couple of big pieces of cardboard as long as they're big enough to fit your paper in without folding it, and either staple or tape it on three sides and leave one side open to get stuff in. It never fails, even though I say that, there'll be a student who still comes in with either just a big stack of paper and plops that down, or they've shoved everything into their newsprint pad and tossed that down. Neither of those will work. Your grade will suffer if that's the case. It should be self-contained. Yeah.
Is it they gave us cardboard?
Yeah, that's your portfolio. Yep. It should have absolutely everything that you have done in the class, both during class time and outside. By the way, Nikolai, I got your sketchbook down here. When I brought it for you the last time, you weren't here, and then I kept forgetting and leaving it in my office. But you got it there. It should have everything, both from in the class and homework, and it should all be in chronological order. You may note that stack of old work right there is really fat, because there are not everyone, but there are a good number of you who either never go through it, or you shuffle through the first few pages, grab like one or two things, and then leave the rest of your stuff in there. I've got stuff going all the way back to 1 point perspective still in that stack. So go through it, make sure you have all your stuff. So it should have everything in it. It should be in chronological order, and I want you to organize it in some fashion. I want it to be organized in a neat, orderly fashion other than just the chronological order. I'll give you some examples of what students have done with this in the past. I've had some students who will put like a piece of cardboard down the middle of the portfolio, and on one side they'll put all the homework, and on the other side they'll have all the in-class work, and then they'll put a label on each side, and then each side is in chronological order. I've had students clip together each unit. So it's like, all right, here are all of the drawings that we did with linear perspective. Clip it together, put a label on it, stick that in here. Then here are all the drawings that we did in planar analysis. Clip it together, put a label on that, and so on through all the other different units that we've been through. I've had students who stuck a piece of cardboard in for each unit and then had like a sticky note that stuck up that said what that was, what each unit was. However you go about it is up to you, but organize it in some fashion that makes it nice and simple to flip through. Right? Nice and easy to find where you have put things.
How much can take off is not exactly like if you don't if some of the pages don't have a date written on them, but they're like a general.
Yeah, if that has happened, you didn't write a date on it, do the best you can, stick it in the right area. That's I get that. That's fine too. Yeah. So, if on that day your portfolio is self-contained, it is in chronological order, everything's in it and there's nothing missing, and it has been organized in a nice fashion, that's the easiest A you can make in this class. As there are things amongst that list that aren't meeting the standard, that's when that grade starts to come down. Like if there are things missing, or the organization isn't there, or things are all mixed up and not in order. And even though I have this conversation, it never fails. I'll get at least 2 or 3 portfolios where things are just haphazardly thrown in there, right? Have them in chronological order, have them organized in some fashion. All right, your sketchbook. You all have comments from midterm on what it felt like your sketchbook was lacking. You've now got, 3 weeks to make it look like you've spent more than 3 weeks in that sketchbook. Right? Address those kinds of things that were written in it at midterm. Hopefully you've already been doing that, but if not, like I say, you've got 3 weeks. All right. Questions about any of that? Well, what I'll remind you about is that if you go into Google Classroom under syllabus and other material, there's this right here, the sketchbook expectations. And everything's listed there for you. If you look, because I printed these off and gave them to everybody at the beginning of the semester, but if you've either lost that or somehow didn't get one, they're right here. All right, any other questions about things? All right.